Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hopkinton High School turf fields for Hopkinton Hillers Varsity Baseball on HCAM. As this evening, the 6-3 Hopkinton Hillers take on the 2-5 Millis Mohawks in a cross TVL matchup. Tom Nappy, happy to be with you on the call for this evening's game. And it should be a good battle here on a beautiful evening. Temperatures are in the mid to high 60s, and it'll get a little chillier as we go on throughout the course of the night, but it is just fantastic weather here this evening, and we are just about ready for some Hiller baseball. Ryan Lang gets the start for the Hopkinton Hillers. He has pitched 8 2/3 of an inning this season, has a 2.10 ERA, and also has a win to his credit. And he has pitched pretty well. Excuse me, the ERA is actually 2.42, so pretty good ERA for Ryan Lang. And let's take a look at that Hiller defense. Behind home plate, you got Calvin Mahan, the catcher. At first base, Michael Sullivan. Second baseman, Gabe Cafazzo. Shortstop, Dylan Ruff. And at third base, Andrew Bauschman. From left to right, Zach Stacy, Nick Pedroli, and James Hayward in right field. As we are ready to get this game started, Hayden Leach, the shortstop for Millis, stepping to the plate. And we'll get you that Millis batting order in just a moment as we are ready for the first pitch, and it's right in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Hayden Leach, the shortstop, leads things off. Blake Shepherdson, the third baseman, bats second. Nick Homan, center fielder, hitting third. Aiden Segru, the catcher, is hitting cleanup. Andrew Morse, first baseman, hitting fifth. Will Ferguson, left fielder, hitting sixth. Brody Barrett, the pitcher, hitting seventh. Talon Shepherdson, the third baseman, hitting eighth. There's another pitch there and there for a strike. And you got Broden and Goldsby, right fielder, rounding out the order for the Millis Mohawks. Lang set to deliver. And that's fouled off into the backstop. Well, it's the first late evening game we've had this season. Gotta love some nighttime baseball at this time of the year. Weather's starting to get a little bit warmer, much warmer than it was just a couple of weeks ago. Wind up and the pitch. Look out. Inside there. Full count now, set to deliver. Swing and a miss, and he got him. One away. That'll bring up Blake Shepherdson, the third baseman. Well, Hillers and Millis, they've had a few interesting meetings. Of course, these two teams, they're in different ends of the TVL. Hillers in the large, Millis in the small. They typically meet once a season. But they've had some pretty good battles against each other. And we'll talk more about that later in the broadcast. Hillers softball also in action tonight against the Millis Mohawks. We have that game live as well. So make sure you got two screens going as that one's fouled off. 0-2 the count. But Ryan Lang, he's going to be a pitcher that the Hillers heavily rely on as we get in to these later games in the season. That pitch just outside. The Hillers have used a large committee of pitchers this season. They've had 11 different guys out there on the hill. That pitch just outside. You know, typically you'll see these teams use 5, 6, at the most 7, but 11 different pitchers have been used this season for the Hillers. And this is going to be hit in the air over to right center, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. Shepherdson heading to second base, and that's where he will stay. A stand-up double for the third baseman. 1 on, 1 out. Nick Homan to the plate, the center fielder. Millis knows they'll have to get the bats going to compete with this high-scoring Hiller team. Shepherdson with the lead off the second base bag as Lang is set to deliver. He's going to check in, and a runner slides back safe. Lang takes a long look in, and he's going to turn towards second, throw over, and he wants to keep that runner at bay. Well, they know Millis is going to try to manufacture some runs in this game, and Shepherdson, a pretty fast athlete. They're certainly not afraid to send him. Wind up and the pitch inside. That turns Nick Homan away. Lang winds and deals a little high. It's going to make the count 2-0. Wind up and the pitch, and that is going to be a little outside, 3-0. Just missed the outer part of the plate. Lang winds and deals, breaking pitch, a little high, and the walk is drawn. 2 on, 1 out, and now you got Aiden Segru coming to the plate. Now, that's not the worst walk to give up, considering you had a guy at second base. Here comes Coach Anderson to have a chat. Some words of wisdom for Ryan Lang. Well, Millis and Hopkinton softball in action right now. The Millis bats making some noise. Mike Terosian on the call for that game, and we'll give you updates throughout this broadcast as well. That pitch a little high. Well, Lang having a bit of trouble finding the strike zone. Here's the 1-0. And that pitch in the zone, but the umpire didn't bite. Ball 2. The 2-0. That's in there for a strike. 2-1. Hillers do have warm-up action. In case Lang runs into any problems here. Lang doesn't have a lot of experience starting on the hill. Landon Fitzgibbon getting loose. There's a nice pitch in there for a strike. 2-2. So we'll see if the Hillers go committee tonight. I mean, a lot of games this season, they have gone with a committee pitching style. He winds and deals. This is hit in the air foul. Count remains 2-2. Leg lift and the pitch. Just a little high there. 1-2. Excuse me, 3-2. Well, you don't want to lose this hitter here. You really want to try to get an out. And the walk is drawn. Bases loaded. That's going to bring up Andrew Morse, the first baseman. So Millis threatening here in the top of the first. Lang takes a long look in and deals. There's strike one. Now, if you're Lang, don't get, too down on the fact that you gave up a couple walks. Just concentrate on hitting that strike zone. The hitter needs time. Leg lift and the pitch, a swing and a miss. A nice pitch there. Set for the 0-2. And that, he tried to check his swing, I think, and fouled it away. And actually, they're going to call that a strikeout. I guess he missed it. That brings up Will Ferguson, 2 outs. So despite the bases loaded, Lang could get out of this. That pitch up high. Kelvin Mahan gave a look at first base, threatening to throw down. He does have a very good back pick. The 1-0. And that's just a little low there. 2-0 the count. Leg lift and the pitch. And that's a nice pitch in there for a strike. 2-1. I'll tell you, Lang has some dancing on his breaking pitches. He has some good stuff out there. He just needs to hit that zone. 2-1. And this is going to be right to the shortstop. A nice catch by Dylan Ruff. And despite the bases being loaded at one point with 1 out, the Hillers get out of it with no harm done. We head to the bottom of the first. You are tuned in to Hopkinton Hillers Varsity Baseball on HCAM. This program is brought to you in part by TVLSports.net. You can view the standings, stories, pictures, highlights, and more about the 12 teams in the Tri-Valley League at TVLSports.net. TVLSports.net is an independent news and media website reporting on the TVL and is not associated with the MIAA, Tri-Valley League, or any town or school. Just about set for the bottom of the first inning. Let's take a look at the Hiller batting order. Leading things off, the DH, Millis. Center fielder Nick Pedroli batting second. Dylan Ruff, shortstop, hitting third. James Hayward, right fielder, hitting cleanup. Calvin Mahan, catcher, hitting fifth. Michael Sullivan, first baseman, hitting sixth. Zach Stacy, left fielder, hitting seventh. Andrew Bauschman, third baseman, hitting eighth. Gabe Cafazzo, second baseman, hitting ninth. Brody Barrett set to deliver to the DH. Mitch Millis. Wind up and the pitch. In there for a strike. Brody Barrett, the starting pitcher for the Mohawks. Aiden Segru is his battery mate. Andrew Morse at first base. Talon Shepardson at second base. That pitch outside. Hayden Leach, the shortstop. Blake Shepardson at third base. From left to right, Will Ferguson, Nick Homan, and Broden and Goldsby for the 2-5 Millis Mohawks. Tom Nappy happy to be on the call with you this evening. John Ritz on camera. That pitch fouled off. 1-2, the count on Mitch Millis. Well, Mitch Millis has hit the ball relatively well. A .348 batting average as he takes that one high. He has 3 RBIs, 11 runs, and 3 doubles to his credit this season. And we got a softball on the baseball field, so we have a little stoppage here, and that's good news because the Hillers just scored a run off a nice hit over in the softball game. Swing and a miss, and there's out number 1. That'll bring up Nick Pedroli, the center fielder. Pedroli has hit the ball very well this season. .481 batting average. 10 RBIs, 5 runs, 3 doubles, a triple, and a home run to his credit. Wind up and the pitch. And he swings for that high pitch. 0-1 the count. Well, Pedroli is one of those hitters, he likes them high in the zone sometimes. Leg lift and the pitch. And that hit him. He'll get a free pass to first base. So it'll be 1 on, 1 out. Dylan Ruff, the shortstop, heading to the plate. Dylan Ruff, a .462 batting average on the season. 7 RBIs, 6 runs to his credit. 3 doubles and a triple. Wind up and the pitch. And that's fouled off. 0-1. The lights are on here at the turf field. Slowly starting to come on as the sun begins to set. Wind up and the pitch. That's outside. 1-1. Well, the top part of the Hiller batting order has been really good this season. And he gets a piece of this one in the air to right center. That is going to land for a hit. Pedroli around third base. Here he comes, and the Hillers lead it 1-0. An RBI double for Dylan Ruff. Good piece of hitting there. Got that right in the gap over in right center. And Pedroli around to score with ease. Dylan Ruff at second with a stand-up RBI double. And that's going to bring up James Hayward, the right fielder. Hayward, a .190 batting average on the season. And time call, a late timeout call. Hayward has 4 RBIs, 5 runs to his credit. Ruff with a slight lead off the second base bag, and that pitch, did that hit him? I believe it did. Happened so fast, barely saw it. That's going to put 2 on with 1 out. Calvin Mahan, the catcher, set to step to the plate. Timeout called. Ruff just had to tie up that cleat. Calvin Mahan, he's been a great behind the plate as the Hiller catcher. 261 on the season, takes that one up high. Oh, throw to third. Runner took off from second, and he's safe. Stolen base for Dylan Ruff. Certainly always a risky venture trying to steal third, but Ruff has all kinds of speed. One and oh the count. It's now runners on the corners for the Hillers. Wind up and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Runner from first taking off. Slides in, and the ball gets into the outfield, and a Hiller run is going to score. So a stolen base from Hayward. He advances on the errant throw. Dylan Ruff in to score. And just like that, the Hillers lead it 2-0. That'll bring up Calvin Mahan. Calvin Mahan will step back in and face a 1-1 count. Wind up and the pitch. He's going to bunt, and that's foul. 1-2. Well, the Hillers manufacturing a nice run there, and they were trying some suicide squeeze action there. They sent Hayward from third on that bunt. I don't imagine they'll try that again on a 1-2 count, but you never know. And that pitch outside, good eye there, 2-2. Brody Barrett working from the stretch. Wind up and the pitch. Inside, little chin music. And that's going to fill up the count. A chance to draw a walk here. Big pitch for Barrett. Wind up and the pitch. And got him looking. Strike three, 2 away. That'll bring up Michael Sullivan, the first baseman. Michael Sullivan, a .385 batting average on the season. 8 RBIs. A double and triple to his credit. Oh, he got hit. That's the third Hiller hitter in this inning. That's a tongue twister. Zach Stacy will step in. Third hit batter for the Hillers. It's now runners on the corners, 2 outs. 2 runs already in for the Hillers. Wind up and the pitch to Stacy is up high. He didn't bite. 1-0. Stacy hitting a .333 on the season. And just as I look down at my stat sheet, Michael Sullivan stole second base. So now it's runners on second and third. Wind up and the pitch. And he checked his swing there, held back, 2-0. Stacy also has 4 RBIs, 3 runs to his credit. He'd like some more RBIs here. Checking at second, and then the runner's back safe. Now that's a risky throw. It's not like Sullivan could go anywhere. And you never know. You throw towards second, they might send Hayward from third base, who has all kinds of speed, to try to score. This is hit in the air over to left center, and it drives the left fielder deep, but Ferguson able to make the catch, and that will wrap up the first inning. But the Hillers plate a pair of runs, and they lead it 2-0 as we head to the top of the second on HCAM.
HCAM is supported by our viewers. Thank you. And by the Hopkinton Independent newspaper and online news site. The newspaper reaches 100% of the homes and businesses in town, and the website is updated daily with exclusive Hopkinton content. Readers can receive a daily newsletter and breaking news alerts via email.
Welcome back. We are just about ready for the top of the second inning. Good crowd on hand here tonight for both the Hiller baseball and softball games. Quick update from the Hiller softball game. They lead at 1-0 in the bottom of the second. A 2-0 Hiller lead here at the baseball game as Brody Barrett set to step to the plate. 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up for Millis. Barrett, Shepherdson, and Ingoldsby due up. Laying out there for his second inning of work, and that's a nice breaking pitch, but a little outside, says the home plate umpire. 1-0. Wind up and the pitch. Inside, 2-0. Set to deliver, and that's fouled off. 2-1. Three and one the count. Leg lift and the pitch. There's a strike that'll fill it up. Lang winds and deals, and that's going to be a walk, a little low. So that's going to put one on. Lead hitter on here in the second inning, Talon Shepherdson, the second baseman stepping to the plate. That's the third walk given up by Lang. And he's going to check in at first, and nice pickoff move, almost got him, but Barrett able to slide back safely. Wind up and the pitch, and that's a little high. Calvin Mahan looked up the first base line. Keep that runner in check. Lang winds and deals, and a swing and a miss. One and one the count. Wind up and the pitch. Inside, look out. 2-1. Well, this Millis team has a lot of speed, so the Hiller is going to be aggressive, keeping those runners in check. And time called there. Lang winds and deals, and this is hit up the right side, and it's going to be an out at second base, and they get one out, so it ends up being a fielder choice. So it'll be, or did they get, it would be one on with one out. As in Goldsby steps to the plate. And pitch a little inside there. Yeah, I believe they tagged Barrett as he was running to second. Wind up and the pitch. Fouled off into the backstop. 1-1. Lang set to deliver. Little high there. 2-1. Well, Lang's already had to throw a good amount of pitches, already up to 41 pitches. Hillers do continue some warm-up action. That pitch in there for a strike. 2-2. And this is driven in the air. That'll drop down into center field. And that's going to be a one-out single for Broden and Goldsby. Up to second goes Shepherdson. And now it's top of the order for Millis. Hayden Leach stepping to the plate. He struck out his last time up. Wind up and the pitch. And that one's high. And nice job by Mahan pulling it down. Well, it's always good to have a catcher you can rely on, and certainly that's what Calvin Mahan has been for the Hillers. Doesn't let much get by him. That pitch a little low. 2-0 the count. Lang takes a look at the runner at second and delivers, and this is ripped up the left side. It's going to be bobbled, and everybody's going to be safe. That's going to load up the bases. That was a hard-hit ball at Bauschman. Difficult play to make. And we'll see what they score that. But that's going to bring up Blake Shepherdson with the bases loaded, and there is 2 outs. And they are going to indeed score that in error, and that's probably what it should be. Wind up and the pitch. Excuse me, 1 out. So only 1 out, bases loaded. Millis threatening once again. And they are making Lang work. Wind up and the pitch. And this is hit in the air and foul out of play. 1-1 the count. Set to deliver. And that pitch in there for a strike. Throw down to first. It's going to get into right field. And here comes a Millis run on the errant throw. And now they're going to try to send a second runner. And they will indeed tie the game. So Talon Shepherdson around on the errant throw. And Broden Goldsby all the way from second base in to score. And Hayden Leach is now at third base. We are knotted up. At 2 apiece as Blake Shepardson steps in. Swing and a miss there, and it gets away. Runner from third stays put. Throw to first. They get him. So that was a strikeout and an attempt to take first base. They do get him. There's 2 away. And now Nick Homan set to step in. That was a good throw down by Mahan. A nice job by the first baseman keeping that runner at third by getting the ball in quick. That pitch inside. Got away from Mahan a little bit, but he's able to keep it in front of him. Wind up and the pitch. In there for a strike. 1-1. Lang set to deliver. And that's fouled into the backstop. 1-2. Lang takes a long look in, and he takes some time out there. Runner on third, 2 outs. Millis has tied the game here in this top of the second inning. That pitch up high. Leg lift and the pitch. Look out. Little inside. That's going to fill up the count. Well, I got to imagine that there's probably not too much leash left on Ryan Lang. He has had to throw a lot of pitches. This is hit in the air towards center field, and it's caught for the out with ease by Nick Pedroli. But the Millis Mohawks plate 2 runs on an errant throw from Calvin Mahan, and this game is tied at 2 apiece as we head to the bottom of the second on HCAM.
Saturday morning cartoons are back. Every Saturday at 8 a.m., HCAM's Toon Time has an hour of classic cartoons, from Betty Boop to Superman to Popeye to Bugs Bunny and more. You'll see your old favorites and discover new ones. So tune in to Toon Time, Saturdays at 8, and start your weekend off with a laugh.
We are ready for the bottom of the second. 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up for the Hillers, and Andrew Bauschman stepping in. Looks like we got a new pitcher out there for Millis. Talon Shepherdson has taken over for Brody Barrett. So Barrett only going 1 inning for the Mohawks. And a couple balls to start there, 2-0. Wind up and the pitch. Breaking pitch. Looked like a knuckleball. 3-0 the count. Talon Shepherdson started the game at second base. Your new second baseman is Braden Ingoldsby. And a 4-pitch walk there. So Braden Ingoldsby moves to second base for Shepherdson. And Ingoldsby was initially in right field. In right field now, you got Brody Barrett. So a few changes there for Millis. Gabe Cafazzo stepping to the plate. And that pitch up high, runner from first takes off. And a nice steal there by Bauschman. Well, kind of a slower delivery for Shepherdson, so expect the Hillers to try to run a good amount here. Hiller softball update. They lead it 3-0 over Millis in the softball game. They're in the 3rd inning. There's a bunt and foul. 1-1 the count. Well, Gabe Cafazzo, 1 for 6 on the season at the plate. He's also been used as a pitcher for the Hillers. He's thrown 6 innings. And he's going to turn towards second and throw. Ball gets into center field. Runner will stay put. Pretty sneaky pickoff attempt there by Shepherdson. Shepherdson delivers. There's a bunt attempt. And they got the runner off second base. They got him picked off. Throw to third. And he misses with the tag. And the runner gets to third. What a nice job by Andrew Bauschman getting out of the way of the tag. And it's now a runner on third. No outs. And it looks like the Millis coach wants to have a chat. But I can't imagine they're going to change the call here. He was still in the base path, and if you're able to get around the tag, that would not be an out. You'd be safe. Cafazzo steps back in. 1-2 the count. Set to deliver. And there's strike 3. 1 away. Mitch Simulus will step in. Top of the order now for the Hillers. That pitch outside, 1-0. Leg lift and the pitch. Up high. 2-0 the count. Simulus struck out last inning. Set to deliver. Outside. 3-0. That pitch up high, walk drawn, another 4-pitch walk. And that is going to bring up the always dangerous Nick Pedroli. Runners on the corners, 1 out for the Hillers. Pedroli was hit by a pitch last inning. Ended up scoring one of the 2 Hiller runs. That pitch in there for a strike. Runner from first takes off. Stolen base for Millis. Wind up and the pitch. A little outside there, 1-1. Lefty steps back in. Wind up and the pitch. Outside. 2-1 the count. Leg lift and the pitch. And breaking pitch up high there. Well, it's interesting that Millis only let Barrett go 1 inning. You figure he may settle down if you gave him another inning. Full count here. Runners on second and third, 1 out. Shepherdson delivers, and that pitch is outside. Walk drawn by Pedroli. Bases are loaded for the Hillers. Dylan Ruff coming to the plate. And it looks like Millis head coach Jack Nally wants to have a chat. He'll bring the whole infield in. But a prime spot for Dylan Ruff here. Good opportunity to give the Hillers back the lead. And this is a part of the lineup you don't want up right now with bases loaded and only 1 out. Well, Talon Shepherdson, he's thrown 14 pitches in this inning. If he continues to have problems finding the strike zone, you wonder what the leash will be. Wind up and the pitch, and there's a strike. Grabs the inner corner. Wind up and the pitch, up high. 1-1. He winds and deals, and that grabs the inner corner. 2-1. Or excuse me, 1-2. Wind up and the pitch. And this is hit in the air. That's going to drop into center field. Here comes 1 run, a second runner behind him. Throw home, gets away. And advancing to third is going to be Pedroli. And up to second is Ruff. So a nice piece of hitting by Dylan Ruff. An RBI single, advances to second on the throw. Mitch Simulus and Andrew Bauschman came around to score. It's now runners on second and third. 2 more runs in. James Hayward to the plate. Swing and a miss there. Wind up and the pitch. Down low. 1-1 the count. He winds and deals, swing and a miss. 1-2. Wind up in the pitch, outside, 2-2. So the theme of the first inning was hit batters for the Hillers, swing and a miss, and he got him. 2 away. Calvin Mahan set to step to the plate. We had 3 hit Hiller batters, and then the theme of this inning, it's been walks. 3 walks surrendered by Shepherdson, but perhaps he's settling down now, and he's found the strike zone with Hayward, finds it there once again. 0-1 the count. Still 2 on for the Hillers, but 2 outs. That pitch outside. 1-1. Wind up and the pitch. A little outside there. Here's the 2-1. And Shepherdson, he's definitely out there throwing mostly breaking pitches mixed in with a knuckleball here and there. Wind up and the pitch. Up high. And that is going to be a walk. Fourth walk of the inning for the Hillers. Michael Sullivan set to step to the plate. And we're going to get a courtesy runner for Calvin Mahan. Courtesy runner for the catcher. And I believe it's number 6. As this is driven in the air, that's going to drop into right field. 1 run is in. Here comes another, and we potentially may have a third, and we will have a third run. And that is going to be a 3 RBI triple for Michael Sullivan. A bases clearing triple, and the Hillers lead it 7-2. Well, that was just a nice piece of hitting by Sullivan as Zach Stacy steps to the plate. And Michael Sullivan, he's someone that can really drive the ball. He's hitting a 385 coming into today, and that's his second triple of the season. And he now has 11 RBIs as well. That pitch down low. Wind up and the pitch. Up high. Set to deliver. And that's in there for a strike. 2-2. Zach Stacy flew out last inning. Hitting a 333 on this season. And he takes that one low. That'll fill up the count. Well, oddly enough, Michael Sullivan has 11 RBIs on the season, but no runs. As that's fouled away, so he drives in all the runs, but the Hillers have struggled a bit driving him around to score one. And with the high amount of times he's on base, I'd imagine he'll score a run at some point in the very near future. Zach Stacy is hit by the pitch, and the Hillers have batted around in this second inning. That's going to bring up Andrew Bauschman for the second time this inning. He walked to start the inning. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. And the Hillers have plated 5 runs in this inning. And that is outside. Runner from first takes off. Easy steal for Stacy. Wind up in the pitch. Swing and a miss. One and one the count. That one outside. 2-1. Set to deliver, up high. Three and one, and here's the pitch. Hit in the air towards center field, and it's caught. Nick Homan able to run in and make the catch, but the Hillers retake the lead as they plate 5 runs in the second inning. And we'll head to the top of the third with the Hillers leading Millis 7-2 on HCAM. HCAM programming is supported by our viewers, thank you, and by Phipps Insurance Agency, representing companies such as MapFree Insurance. Their family-owned independent agency is deeply rooted in the communities they serve and offer time-tested insurance products to fit individual needs. Since 1950, Phipps Insurance specializes in home, auto, business, condo, and renters insurance. Welcome back. We are ready for the top of the third. New pitcher in the game for the Hillers. So Ryan Lang is done after a pair of innings. Landon Fitzgibbon has taken over. And this is going to be hit in the air and caught for the out. One away. That was Aiden Segru flying out. Gabe Cafazzo able to corral it in, and that'll bring up Andrew Morse. 4, 5, and 6 hitters this inning for Millis. A pitch down low. Hillers softball update. They lead it 4-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning. So Hillers softball looking to get back on the winning track after a couple of non-league losses last week. That pitch outside. Landon Fitzgibbon, so far this season, has thrown 5 innings, a 2.80 ERA. And the hitter needs time. Wind up and the pitch, a swing and a miss. He winds, he deals, and this is hit in the air foul. 2-2 the count. And someone might have to call their car insurance company. Fitzgibbon delivers a swing and a miss, and he got him. 2 away. And that's going to bring up Will Ferguson, the left fielder. We'll get you the line on Lang. He pitched 2 innings, giving up 2 hits, 2 runs, but both unearned as they were both from an error. He had 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. Wind up and the pitch. And this is hit up the left side. Takes a couple hops. Picked up. Throw to first. And he got him. 5-3. 4 out, number 3. 1, 2, 3 they go. To the bottom of 3 we go. You are tuned in to Hopkinton Hillers Varsity Baseball on HCAM. HCAM Sports is supported by our viewers and by the Dentist at Hopkinton. The Dentist at Hopkinton provides services including comprehensive dental care, same-day crowns, facial aesthetics, periodontal care, cosmetic dentistry, and implant dentistry. The Dentist at Hopkinton is located at 77 Main Street and online at hopdent.com. Third pitcher of the game for Millis, and right off the bat, we're going to have a bunt, but it's foul. That's Andrew Morse, who was the starting first baseman. He's the third pitcher of the day for Millis. Gabe Cafazzo at the plate for the Hillers. Yeah, Talon Shepardson came in, but had troubles finding the strike zone and gave up 4 walks, which ended up leading to 5 Hiller runs. The 1-1, this hit in the air over towards center field, and it's caught for the out, 1 away. Nick Homan able to get under it and make the catch. That'll bring up Mitch Millis, the DH. Wind up and the pitch. A little high there, 1-0. Well, that pitch in there for a strike, 1-1. Well, the first pitcher of the game for Millis was Brody Barrett. He went 1 inning, giving up 1 hit, 3 runs, which all were earned as that's fouled away, and struck out 2 hitters. Talon Shepardson went 1 inning, giving up 2 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, 3 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Wind up and the pitch. Hit in the air, high in the air, towards right field, and caught for the out. 2 away. That'll bring up Nick Pedroli to the plate. Moore's set to deliver, and this is ripped up the right side. Into right field it goes, and that's going to be a 2-out single for Nick Pedroli. And that'll bring up Dylan Ruff, the shortstop. And Nick Pedroli having a nice day at the plate. He's been hit by a pitch. He's walked. He's scored 2 runs, and now he's singled. Morris takes a look at first and delivers. And that pitch in there for a strike. 0-1. Check it at first. Runner slides back safe. Well, perhaps Morris will be the guy to settle this Hiller lineup down a little bit. And he swung and they call him out. So a strikeout there. And that will wrap up the inning. We'll move along to the top of the 4th. Hillers lead it 7-2 on HCAM.
Bay Path may have outgrown its space, but not its mission. We need your help to build a new facility that matches our capabilities and dedication. Join us and help ensure we can continue to provide exceptional care and find loving homes for animals for years and years to come. Thank you.
Top of the 4th inning, Landon Fitzgibbon in for his 2nd inning of work. Brody Barrett to the plate. Hiller softball update. They have tore open their game. They now lead Millis 10-0. They're in the 5th inning. Wind up and the pitch. And therefore strike. 0-1. Brody Barrett walked his last time up back in the 2nd inning. That pitch outside, 1-1. Well, perhaps we found the pitchers that could settle this game down a bit. Yeah, Landon Fitzgibbon go a solid inning for the Hillers, and then Andrew Morse came in for Millis and pitched a nice inning. Wind up and the pitch outside. 2-1 the count. Leg lift and the pitch. Look out. 2-2. Excuse me, 3-1. Leg lift and the 3-1 inside and a walk drawn. Second walk Brody Barrett has drawn. That'll bring up Talon Shepherdson. Well, Landon Fitzgibbon was very sufficient last inning. Only threw 10 pitches last inning. Time was called by the hitter. Wind up and the pitch outside. Nice stop by Mahan. He winds and deals, and this is up the left side. That's going to get through the gap. And a nice piece of hitting by Talon Shepardson. 2 on, no outs. Broden and Goldsby stepping to the plate. Goldsby hit a single his last time up. Ended up scoring one of the 2 Millis runs on the error. 1-0 the count. Wind up and the pitch. And that grabbed the inner corner, 1-1. Leg lift and the pitch. And it's a bunt up the right side. Picked up, throw to first. They get the out, but he gets the job done. Pushes Barrett up to third and Shepardson to second. So job well done there by Goldsby on the bunt. Ends up being a 1-3 out. And that'll bring up Hayden Leach. Hayden Leach, shortstop. He's 0 for 2 today, reached on an error. He takes a strike. Fitzgibbon working from the stretch. Wind up in the pitch. Just a little high there, 1-1. Runners on second and third, 1 out. Set to deliver. And this is up the right side, gloved by the second baseman. Throw to first, they'll get the out, but it's a sacrifice RBI ground out for Hayden Leach. So the Mohawks able to get a run back. And that makes it a 7-3 game. Blake Shepardson steps in. Leg lift and the pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. So you got Shepardson at third now. 2 outs in the inning. Just outside, 1-1. Set to deliver. Swing and a miss. That'll make it a 1-2 count. And a swing and a miss there. And the throw to first, they get the out, so the strikeout with the 2-3 throwdown. And we are heading to the bottom of the fourth with the Hillers leading Millis 7-3 on HCAM. Be sure to check out HCAM's must-see TV Wednesdays, featuring brand new premieres and our weekly series that keeps you up to date with Hopkinton HCAM news. Also, the weekly series that breaks down your favorite local sports team, HCAM Sports Talk, and the show that keeps you up to date on the Tri-Valley League, TVL Sportsnet. That's must-see TV Wednesdays on HCAM. Bottom of the fourth inning. 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up, and we're going to have a pinch hitter. Gavin Liptak is going to step in for James Hayward. Gavin Liptak, only one at bat this season. He's 0 for 1. And he is set to face Andrew Morse, swing and a miss. Morse out there for his second inning of work. And perhaps he's the guy that'll settle things down a little bit for Millis, as they had some pitching problems in the first couple of innings. A lot of hit batters and a lot of walks, and Morris came in the third and was able to get out of it relatively easily. 3-1 the count here, however. Wind up and the pitch. And this is hit in the air, left side, and caught by Will Ferguson. Well, some pretty good power by Liptak, but Ferguson playing out deep. Due up next, Kelvin Mahan, the catcher. Mahan 0 for 1 today with a walk. Wind up in the pitch. Look out. 1-0. Leg lift and the pitch. Down low. Two and oh the count. Hit in the air, right side, foul out of play. Look out, cars. It is a dangerous area to park over there, especially when you get a lot of the foul balls flying over. Up high. Wind up and the pitch. Inside, walk drawn. That's the first walk Morse has given up. And we're going to get a courtesy runner. So courtesy runner out there. And now Michael Sullivan steps in, swing and a miss. Well, Michael Sullivan had the hit of the day so far. A 3-run RBI. Or excuse me, a 3 RBI triple back in the second inning for Michael Sullivan. And he's had a a perfect on-base percentage today. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning and then had that 3 RBI triple in the second inning. And would like to do some damage here with a runner on first. Outside, 2-1. Yeah, Sullivan absolutely tattooed the ball into right field for that triple, and he tattoos this one, hit very high in the air, left side, and caught by Ferguson. Well, it was hit high, but it had a lot of hang time, and it allowed Ferguson to shift over and make the catch. And now we got Zach Stacy due up. And this is fouled away. 0-1. Chris Wheeler, by the way, is the courtesy runner that came in for Calvin Mahan. And he is going to take off, throw to second, and did they get him? He is safe. So a stolen base for Wheeler. Runner on second, 2 outs for the Hillers. And this is ripped up the right side. Into right field it goes. Wheeler being waved around. Here he comes to score. And it's an RBI single for Zach Stacy. A nice piece of hitting there. And the Hillers back up by 5. Stepping to the plate, Andrew Bauschman. Bauschman 0 for 1 today with a walk. Scored one of the 5 Hiller runs in the second inning. And it will not be Bauschman. We're getting a pinch hitter. It is going to be Cam Capello into the game. So Cam Capello pinch hitting for Bauschman. Cam Capello 2 for 5 overall on the season. So 400 batting average if you're doing the math. Swing and a miss. Yeah, a lot of new faces on the Hillers this year, and Coach Anderson still seeing what he's got in a lot of cases as far as hitting and pitching, and that's why you see him utilizing different guys in different situations. Wind up and the pitch. Outside, runner from first taking off, and an easy steal there. Zach Stacy with the steal. Runner on second now with 2 outs. Cam Capello would certainly like to drive him in. Swing and a miss. And that'll do it for the bottom of the 4th. We are heading to the top of the 5th with the Hillers leading 8-3 on HCAM.
HCAM is supported by our viewers. Thank you. And by the Hopkinton Independent newspaper and online news site. The newspaper reaches 100% of the homes and businesses in town, and the website is updated daily with exclusive Hopkinton content. Readers can receive a daily newsletter and breaking news alerts via email.
We are ready for the fifth inning. An 8-3 Hiller lead. Landon Fitzgibbon out there for his third inning of work after Ryan Lang started the game pitching the first two innings. 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up for Millis. Nick Homan, Aiden Sergu, and Andrew Morse. Homan is 0 for 1 with a walk. Wind up and the pitch. Look out. 1-0. Turns the hitter away there. Well, Fitzgibbon loves to try to grab the inside corner. And that pitch was a little too inside. Nick Homan gets the free pass to first base, and that'll bring up Aiden Sergu, the catcher for the Mohawks. Well, Fitzgibbon has been very sufficient so far. Only 27 pitches in 2 innings. And we have a Hiller softball update. That game is over in the 5th inning as the Hillers mercy Millis 13-1. So the Hiller softball team brought out the bats tonight, and they get the victory over Millis via a mercy 13-1. Wind up in the pitch. Hit in the air, and that is going to drop into left field. And the runner from second is going to advance to third as there was a little bobble by the outfielder trying to pick up the ball. So Hoban gets the extra base. It's a single for Segru. And now you got Andrew Morse coming to the plate with 2 on and no outs. It looks like we got Chris Wheeler taking over in right field as well. So he pinched hit for James Hayward, in left field. He pinched hit for Hayward last inning, but he's in the game now at left field. Wind up in the pitch. Outside. And this is hit in the air, right side, and that is going to be a fair ball. 1 run is in, and here comes another runner behind him. The throw home is not in time, and that is a 2-run base hit for Andrew Morse, who ends up all the way at third base. So a 2 RBI double. He advances to third on the throw. And Millis is in business. They're right back in the game. That'll make it 8-5. And that'll bring up Will Ferguson. And the first pitch to Ferguson inside. 1-0 the count. Wind up and the pitch. Try to check his swing. Wasn't able to hold there. 1-1. Well, that got some warm-up action up for the Hillers relatively quick. And this pitch is going to be hit in the air over to center field. Caught by Pedroli, but a job well done as the runner from third is able to tag and score. So a sacrifice RBI flyout for Ferguson. And Millis is within 2. And that'll bring up Brody Barrett. Only 1 out in the inning. Bases are clear, however. Well, Coach Anderson would obviously love to see Fitzgibbon just get through the rest of this inning with no further harm. That pitch outside. Wind up and the pitch. Look out. Little chin music there. Here's the 1-2. Down low. 2-2. Now you got to imagine this will, either way, this will likely be the last inning for Fitzgibbon. There's a strike, and he got him looking. 2 away. That'll bring up Talon Shepherdson. Shepherdson 1 for 1 and reached on an error in the second inning. Wind up in the pitch, and this is ripped up the left side, picked up by the third baseman. Throw to first, not a problem. 5-3 for out number 3, but Millis plates 3 runs in the inning, and they are right back in the game. It is 8-6 as we head to the bottom of the 5th on HCAM. Bottom of the 5th inning, 4th pitcher of the game for Millis. Keelan Riggs is the new pitcher. Takes over for Andrew Morse. And we have a pinch hitter for the Hillers. It's Matt Pedroli at the plate. Hitting for Gabe Cafazzo, the second baseman. Well, Matt Pedroli, 0 for 7 at the plate so far this season. So he's looking for his first hit. But he takes a couple balls to start this plate appearance. Wind up and the pitch. Look out. Keegan Riggs set to deliver. And that is fouled away behind home plate. 2-1 the count. Well, it's an 8-6 game. If you're the Hillers, you still got to be looking for some runs here. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Top of the order is due up next for the Hillers. Wind up and the pitch. And that is fouled away. Count remains 2-2. We'll get you the line in just a moment on Morse. Wind up and the pitch. Inside. That'll fill up the count. Andrew Morris went 2 innings, giving up 2 hits, 1 run, which was earned, a walk and had a walk and a strikeout. Ooh, and that is going to be foul. I think it might go off his foot. He's walking it off. It's a pretty good battle here between the young Matt Pedroli and Keegan Riggs. Yeah, that must have went off his foot pretty good. Took him a little while to walk that one off. Full count. Wind up and the pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 away. Top of the order coming up next for the Hillers. Mitch Millis set to step in. Wind up and the pitch. Inside, 1-0. Simulus 0 for 2 on the day with a walk. Gets a piece of this one. Hit in the air right side. Foul. 1-1. Wind up and the pitch. Just outside. 1-2. Excuse me, 2-1. And that is fouled away, 2-2. And when that ball came down, I did not hear a pleasant sound. Someone might be calling their car insurance company. A lot of people parked over there today. And there's another strikeout. 2 away. 2 straight strikeouts for Keegan Riggs. And now you got Nick Pedroli coming to the plate. Well, I'll tell you, Millis feels like they're back in this game. They found some momentum last inning, ended up plating 3 runs. Wind up and the pitch. Inside. 1-0 the count. Pedroli having a nice day at the plate, 1 for 1, and has walked and been hit by a pitch and scored a couple runs. Swing and a miss there. Set for the 1-1. And this is up the right side, foul. 1-2. Well, Millis would like a nice quick inning here and to see if they could get their bats going in the 6th inning. Wind up in the pitch outside. 2-2. Leg lift and the pitch. And this is ripped up the right side, but foul. Well, Millis kind of seems like they got a somewhat similar pitching to the Hillers. They certainly don't have as many pitches. They, in fact, only have 12 guys on their roster. But they seem to go committee a lot. And this is driven into center field. That is a 2-out single for Nick Pedroli. And that'll bring up Dylan Ruff. So runner on, 2 outs. Third man in the lineup, Dylan Ruff, set to step to the plate. Wind up in the pitch. Look out. 1-0. We'll do up next. It's the cleanup spot. I believe James Hayward came out of the game. So I don't know if they're going to put him back in or what the situation is with that. Figure maybe he was only a pinch hit, but he wasn't out in the field either as that pitch gets away. And Pedroli will advance to second on the wild pitch. 3-0 count on Ruff. Well, I'll tell you, I've seen this Hiller team do a lot of damage with 2 outs this season. And there's a walk. I believe they just gave him the pass there since Pedroli stole second. Why not? Now you got to play it either at every base. And here comes James Hayward. So Hayward is back in the game as he fouls that one away. 0-1 the count. Oh, runner taken off from second, throw to third. Did they get him? They did not. He was safe. A really risky steal for Pedroli. But he's able to slide in under the tag. And it's runners on first and third now. Wind up and the pitch. Runner from first taking off. They're trying to see if they could draw the throw. Millis ain't going to take the bait there. That pitch outside. That was a nice job by Segru behind the plate. Not letting that one get by. You don't want to give up a Hiller run here if you're Millis. And that is fouled off. 3-2 count. Wind up and the pitch. And there's strike 3. Got him looking. And it's going to remain an 8-6 game heading into the top of the 6th on HCAM. Top of the 6th inning. And Millis back up to the plate. Landon Fitzgibbon remains in the game. He struggled a bit in the 5th, ended up giving up 3 runs, but Coach Anderson going to see if he could settle down in this inning. It's Broden Goldsby at the plate, and that's fouled into the backstop. 0-2 the count. Wind up and the pitch, and that is outside. Well, the Hillers, they got a busy schedule this week. They got a road game against Medfield on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, they're home against Dover Sherborne. So they want to try to rest as many pitchers as possible. So I think that's part of the reason they got Fitzgibbon out there for another inning, is that pitch is inside. That's going to make it a 2-2 count. Or correction, that fills up the count. Crucial pitch here, I'd say. And there's strike 3, got him looking. A big strikeout for Fitzgibbon. You really did not want to walk the hitter there. And that's going to bring up Hayden Leach. Leach has struck out, reached on an error, and had a sacrifice RBI flyout. Wind up and the pitch. Outside. So yeah, in the typical week, you have 2 games. But this week you got 3. So you're really trying to rest up those arms in this one and use as least amount of pitchers as possible. As a little mound conversation with Coach Anderson. And I think he's just checking to see how his arm's feeling. I mean, Fitzgibbon, he hasn't started a whole lot of games. He normally comes in relief, and he's up to 47 pitches. So he's at a point that he probably does not have all that much experience with. Wind up and the pitch. And this is hit in the air, foul. 1-1. Yeah, Fitzgibbon, he's usually in the past season or two, he's been a late innings reliever. Usually you don't see him get too much middle relief. Wind up and the pitch. And this is hit in the air and foul territory and out of reach. That was a good effort. But that is big. If Fitzgibbon could get out of this, gives you that extra inning, and you're able to save use of your arms. It's pretty big. Here's the 1-2, just a little low. 2-2. And you want to try to get these outs quick as you're at the top of the lineup. Hit high in the air, and it is caught by Nick Pedroli, who seemed like he had to battle the lights out there to corral that in, but a job well done. And that is the second out of the inning. Blake Shepherdson set to step to the plate. Wind up and the pitch. There's a strike, a nice pitch there. Bringing the heat. Yeah, the velocity for Fitzgibbons still seems great. Wind up and the pitch. Oh, another nice pitch. In there for a strike, 0-2. And this is going to be hit right back to the pitcher. Flip to first, not a problem. 1-3 for out number 3. And we are heading to the bottom of the 6th with the Hillers leading 8-6 on HCAM. HCAM programming is brought to you in part by Weston Nurseries. Weston Nurseries has been selling plants since 1923 and features locations in Hopkinton, Lincoln, Hingham, and Chelmsford. You can visit them online at westonnurseries.com. Bottom of the 6th inning, and look at that. We are going to start with a base hit for the Hillers. First pitch and a hit. And that was Calmahan, the catcher. So the Hillers going to have a man on with no outs. A nice single there, and you got Michael Sullivan at the plate. And we're going to get a courtesy runner in for the catcher. And that looks like number 7, I believe. We can only put the camera on the pinch runner because we don't want to miss the action. Speaking of that, he's taking off and he has a stolen base. It is indeed number 7. And number 7 would be Caleb Altman. So a nice steal for Altman, who is pinch running. Yeah, I mean, if you're the Hillers, you'd love a couple security runs right here. Because you got some good hitters coming up next inning for Millis. You got the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. And, whoa, he's going to go to third, and the throw got away. They were trying to catch the runner off guard. Throw gets into the outfield, and the speedy Altman comes all the way around and scores. So there's your security run. So he will score on the error there. So he stole third and comes around on the error. Well, that's one way to get security runs. Michael Sullivan didn't even have to do anything. He puts this one in the air, foul out of play, 0-2. Correction, 2-2 count. Here's the 2-2. And he's going to hit this foul out of play. Good battle here between Michael Sullivan and Keegan Riggs. And that run that Altman just scored will go down as an unearned run. And the Hillers have a good amount of those in this game. This is hit high in the air, right side, and that is going to drop fair. Sullivan heading to second base, and he's aboard with a stand-up double. That was pretty close to the fence there, and that's the deepest part of this field. Well, actually, technically, the left side is, since there's no fence. But that is a deep part to hit it towards, and Sullivan showing off the power there. Zach Stacy steps to the plate. And Sullivan's taking off, throw to third, and they got him. Big risk there. Yeah, I don't like the steal in that situation. You got no outs, a guy in scoring position. I don't understand it. Coach Anderson likes to take the risks. Wind up and the pitch. Inside. Yeah, I mean, you're building momentum, and you got all the momentum on your side, but then that happens, and that could flip it right back to Millis. That pitch outside. And now it's a 3-0 count on Stacy. So if he walks, instead of having 2 on with no outs, he'll have 1 on with 1 out. And he's going to put this up the left side. A little bobble by the third baseman. Throw to first. Throw gets away, and he's going to keep going. Here he goes to second base. And now heading to third. The throw over, and that's going to get away. And now he's going to come home. Zach Stacy to home plate, and did he get in? No. He did not. They get him at the plate, so after all that, it ends up just being the second out of the inning. Yeah, Stacy should have just held up at third. I guess he thought the ball was going to roll away more than it did. But it stayed kind of close, and they were able to get him. And now you got Chris Capello at the plate. Or excuse me, Cam Capello. He came in, he's hitting for Bauschman once again. And that is fouled away. So you had Sullivan reach on an RBI double, or excuse me, actually it wasn't an RBI double, it was a bases cleared double after Altman ended up scoring on an error. And then you get Zach Stacy reaching on a hit, then both end up getting thrown out, and this is going to be the end of the inning. We are heading to the top of the 7th. The good news is the Hillers lead it 9-6, and they got Millis down to their final 3 outs. Coming up next on HCAM.
Bay Path may have outgrown its space, but not its mission. We need your help to build a new facility that matches our capabilities and dedication. Join us and help ensure we can continue to provide exceptional care and find loving homes for animals for years and years to come. Thank you.
top of the 7th inning. Millis down to their final 3 outs, but they do have the 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up. And they've all had a relatively decent night at the plate. Landon Fitzgibbon is out there trying to finish off this game. And he would be in line for the win if he's able to do so. He's gone 4 solid innings so far. He did give up those 3 runs. He's given up 4 runs. I gotta check if all of them were earned. But Homan trying to start things off right. A swing and a miss there. 0-2. The Hillers have been warming up pitchers, so I believe that they got someone ready. Shall Fitzgibbon have any type of struggle? Here's the 0-2. A breaking pitch that broke a little too much. 1-2. Wind up and the pitch. And he got him! 1 away. Hillers 2 outs away from their 7th win of the season. Is Aiden Segru set to step in? And Fitzgibbon gives a long look in and deals that one outside. 1-0. Yeah, Landon Fitzgibbon is going to be a big piece of this Hiller pitching staff this season. They're going to rely on him quite heavily. That pitch outside. 2-0. And the Hillers on the road in Medfield Wednesday. And then on Thursday, according to the schedule, they're going to be on the grass field here at Hopkinton High School for the first time probably in four years or so. And we will have that game for you. And there's another strike. 2-2. Here's the 2-2 outside. It'll fill up the count. You would like to not give up a walk here. You don't want to give Millis any type of momentum. And this is going to be ripped up the left side, and that will be some momentum. That's going to be a 1-out single. Andrew Morris set to step to the plate. And Coach Anderson, he's going to take the ball. We're going to get a new pitcher. So the strategy there was use Landon Fitzgibbon as long as possible. But at the first sign of a struggle, especially after that 6th inning, bring in a reliever, and they're going to bring in a closer. And we'll let you know who that is in just a moment when we come back. Hillers lead it 9-6 on HCAM. Be sure to check out HCAM's must-see TV Wednesdays, featuring brand new premieres and our weekly series that keeps you up to date with Hopkinton HCAM news. Also, the weekly series that breaks down your favorite local sports team, HCAM Sports Talk, and the show that keeps you up to date on the Tri-Valley League, TVL Sportsnet. That's must-see TV Wednesdays on HCAM. third pitcher of the night for the Hillers. Gabe Cafazzo in the game. He's thrown 7 innings, a 1.00 ERA. He has been effective on the hill for the Hillers, and he hopes to be effective here. A nice pitch there. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Andrew Morse at the plate. Runner on first, 1 out. And this is another guy that's going to be a big part of this Hiller pitching staff. A blazing fastball there. 0-2. And just outside, 1-2. You wonder if Millis might try to send the runner. Maybe not on this hitter, but the next one. Swing and a miss. 2 away. Millis down to their final out. Will Ferguson stepping to the plate. That pitch a little high, 1-0. He winds and deals, swing and a miss, 1-1. I'll tell you, Cafazzo, he's got some velocity. Strike 2. Blazes it by him. And he got him, and that's your ball game. You can credit Gabe Cafazzo with the save. And the Hillers get the 9-6 win. Landon Fitzgibbon will get the win to his credit. A great win by the Hillers out there tonight. Some great hitting, great defense, and some very nice pitching from the likes of Landon Fitzgibbon and Gabe Cafazzo. An impressive win for the Hopkinton Hillers as they take down the Millis Mohawks by a final score of 9-6. Millis falls to 2-6 on the season. Hillers are now 7-3 overall and 6-1 in the TVL. Hopkinton scores 9 runs on 9 hits, committing 2 errors. Millis 6 runs on 6 hits and 3 errors. Winning pitcher Landon Fitzgibbon. The save Gabe Cafazzo. And the player of the game, it's got to be Michael Sullivan, 2 for 3 at the plate with 3 RBIs and a double and triple to his credit. A great win by the Hopkinton Hillers here tonight. That is just about going to do it for our coverage. A big thank you to John Ritz, who worked the camera tonight for girls lacrosse as well as this baseball game. And for everyone at HCAM, I'm Tom Nappy. The final score for the final time, Hillers defeat Millis by a final of 9-6. We thank you for watching Hopkinton Hillers Varsity Baseball on HCAM. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Goodbye, everybody.